All right, save that. Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. I think time's up. Oh, hey, we're live.
What? It says 15 seconds.
Oh, no, wait a minute. Oh, that's because that's behind.
Oh my gosh.
We were trying to add a moderator in at the last minute, guys. So sorry about that. I had our studio set to click over live, and we're just messing around over here. Didn't know you guys were there.
Hi.
So we're not going to do the whole can you hear us, but let us know if you can't.
Right.
And
here, let me move this.
Move your monk.
I'm sorry.
Okay, guys, so welcome to another episode of the Carpool Lane. As you probably know, our guests this week are Chris and Cherie from the Mobile Internet Resource Center. Mm-hmm. The chat is open to subscribers only, so if you are not subscribed, please do so. Also, please give us a thumbs up. Click that like button. That kind of signals to YouTube, hey, more people might want to see this.
And please click the like that's underneath the video.
Yeah.
So not in the chat. Well, chat box. I mean, you can give us like it.
You can give us a thumbs up there too. That's fine.
That's fine.
We don't hate them.
We don't hate thumbs ups.
And let's see here.
While you're doing that, Chad, I'll let them know. I think we have a lot of newer people, maybe who just found our channel, just subscribed, and we're getting a lot of questions that are, maybe some questions that we feel like we answered a long time ago in videos that they probably haven't seen. So if you are one of them and you have a question about how do we get our mail and doctors and insurance and all of that, we have a very in-depth FAQ section on our website. And it is very simple. You can go in at the top right-hand corner, there's a little magnifying glass, and you can search for anything. I think our most searched thing is Daisy's dog bed. So if you type dog bed, I don't think you typed it, but you can type in a keyword and then all of the FAQ answers will pop up for you there. So try there first, because it does take us a little while to get through all the emails that we get.
A little bit.
Yeah. And then we are going to be talking a lot more about our awesome giveaway, which is, I mean, these things are $1,200 a piece. So we're really excited and thankful that we have the ability to give these away.
They look like this.
Thank you, PepLink. And we'll talk more about how you can enter to win one of these later on.
Mm-hmm. Also, for those of you looking for cabin updates,
or CBIN,
yeah, I just put the A in there.
I feel like we're all...
Yeah, we are. The cabin has been a lot of work. We did get the RV up there, so that is awesome.
Well, we did, and no problems. But as you can imagine, I was very, very nervous.
I kicked her out of the truck. She wasn't allowed to be in the truck.
Oh, he just wanted me to film it. Don't let him fool you. But then getting, and then going down the hill is also sketchy. So
yeah, it was all good though. We were able to keep all the tires on the road. Didn't have to go off onto the turns or anything.
Yeah. So far we haven't really been able to relax and enjoy our time at the cabin. It's just been a lot of work and projects, and you know the drill, all that stuff.
I would also like to say on our website thing here, why does this thing keep popping up? On our website here, you can also subscribe for free here. Just put your email address in this little spot right here, and you can subscribe for free. And because that's where we're going to announce when we do things like meetups. And speaking of meetups, we're going to do one at the Hershey show, the Hershey, Pennsylvania RV show, which I guess is the largest show. So we're anxious to see that. We also have some surprising things that'll be there also that we can't talk about yet.
Yeah, and let us know some things that we can't miss when we're in that area for the show, because we've never been.
I assume there's probably a chocolate factory.
I bet so.
So I'm assuming they do tours.
Yeah, so let us know if you have any, of your favorite places to eat or things to do when you go to the Hershey show or in that area in general. So we want to thank our moderators.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. I'm going to have a beer.
Oh, you're going to have a beer? I'm going to have tea. We want to thank our VA, Chris, who is awesome and full-time RVer now, which is really cool.
Congratulations.
We want to thank Eric, who is with Mobile Must Have. So if you have questions about any of their products and stuff, he is in the chat under Mobile Must Have, and you can ask them there. And then did we get Andy in? That's what we were doing at the last minute.
We might have two Andys. We're not sure who they are, but Andy with the Mobile Internet Resource Center, he's a contributor there, and so we'll have a few moderators on. If
should
you have
we ask
questions.
Andy if he's able to chat to let us know in the chat?
Yeah, Andy, let us know. Hopefully, we got your moderator thing there.
Yeah,
it's a little behind on our side.
I know.
We also want to say thank you to our channel members, our Inside Lane members. We didn't really announce that a whole lot. We just kind of put it out there. We're not doing a lot. We're just, it's just if you want to say thank you and help support us, we'll probably launch some sort of social platform in the future, maybe after we get past 100 or something.
Yeah, we had people asking for it, so that's why we went ahead and opened it up. If you heard anything about the Inside Lane that we tried to do about 1.5 years ago,
fail.
It was a fail just because we felt like we weren't doing enough or giving enough. And then a lot of people said that they don't care. They just want to support us or, help us out with all the help that we've given them. And so that's why we opened it up, just in case you wanted to know. But there's really not a lot of content or anything like that going on in there yet. I mean, hopefully someday we'll be able to do something special. Yeah,
we want to start a separate community for sure. We're just not sure what platform we want to use yet. All right, so I think that's good enough. Let's bring on our guests.
Drum roll, please.
I don't know how to do a drum roll. I didn't have that
programmed
in.
Let me put down my monk.
Okay. It's Chris and Cherie.
Yeah, you did the drum roll. Thank you.
So if you don't know these guys, this is Chris and Cherie from the Mobile Internet Resource Center. If you watched our video from 2 weeks ago about our Mobile Internet 3.0, I learned everything I know about mobile internet basically from these guys and their website, and they're my go-to. If you guys ask me a question, you say, "Hey, we've got a Max Connect, blah blah blah," I'm like, I don't know. Let me just look it up on their site, and I'll send you a link. And you guys, you tell us a little bit. We had you guys on a couple weeks ago as Technomadia. Tell us a little bit now. I know you've been on the road for like 1 billion years.
We're not that old, but no, we have been on the road.
We're getting there.
we are getting there, but I hit the road in 2006. I set off solo in a teeny tiny trailer that didn't have a bathroom, didn't have air conditioning, didn't have much of anything, but it had solar power and mobile internet. And somehow I met somebody my first year on the road who wanted to sell her big beachside house and move in with me. And ta-da!
Crazy. But yeah, I was able to I was a software developer working remote from the time. So I was able to take my company on the road and work remotely, and it worked great. And we started a little blog called Technomadia, eventually became a YouTube channel. And the most frequent question we got was how we got internet to work remotely. And in a kind of a fit of panic, one evening I decided, well, I'm just going to write a book about this and consolidate all of our...
Because we had so many posts about it and so many things that it was like, let's just put it all together. And she's like compiled it into a book.
And that was 2013. And then a year later, we realized the book was completely out of date in a year. And it's like, okay, a book is probably not the right format. So that's when we launched the website. And it has become our full-time job. It was supposed to be just a side hobby. It's not only our full-time job. We have a staff of 6 others that help us out. And you'll see Andy Hull in the chat room. He will be playing the role of what we call Link Wizard, providing links to our content if you want to learn any more about the answers that we give to this.
That is awesome. I want to jump in real quick and just let everybody out there know that I am not being rude to our guests. It may look like it, but we're short a moderator or two, so I'm just gonna, since they're talking tech stuff, you know how I feel about that. So I'm gonna kind of help out in the chat a little bit more. So I just wanted to let everybody know.
Tara's also going to try to keep the 3 of us reined in so we don't start talking bits and bytes and all that good stuff.
I'm going to try. Wish me luck, everybody.
You should have a nice strong tea.
It's not caffeinated. It's too late for caffeinated tea.
This is true.
It's never too late. Never too late.
Oh, well, it is for me.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I used to be able to drink coffee at night. I can't anymore. All right, so let's tell me a little bit. So the Mobile Internet Resource Center started when? When did that site official?
2014 is when we launched it. And it was
so long.
Chris and I, so it's been going on for 8 years now.
Wow.
We literally thought that we'd be able to write a few pages, get it all done and covered, and we'd just be... Back then, there was like one mobile hotspot device on the market. Cellular boosters for LTE had not yet been launched, so we didn't have to cover those. There were no such thing as external antennas. Cellular embedded modems were really not yet a thing yet.
Yes.
And there were a couple of Wi-Fi repeating systems like Wi-Fi Ranger out there. So it was easy then. It was relatively to what we're
Yeah,
doing now.
and yeah, things have gotten better, and it's gotten a lot easier to stay connected. You know, back when we were doing it in 2006, it was a challenge to do the online thing. It's definitely gotten easier, but
Now there's so many options. We
It's
now
easy,
have
yeah,
easier to connect, more difficult to cover.
yes,
definitely the number of changes that are happening almost every single week. New data plans that come out, new hotspot devices, new routers changing prices, new antennas. And then Starlink is, Elon tweets something on a Thursday night at 8 p.m. Well, we're up all night having to cover it to have it ready for
Mhm.
analysis in the morning.
Yeah.
So it definitely has become a
headache.
headache. If
Well, you know, that's
someone
why
had
you-
told me back in 2000.
That's why you need a
So,
team
but we
now.
are member funded. Yeah, so we
Yeah.
now have the team, and we are all member funded. So if you go to our website, you're not going to see any third party advertising there. We do not take affiliate kickbacks. We have a strong relationship with Mobile Must Have, and they resell our partnership, and they do their tech support in our forums. There is no other financial
Yeah.
arrangement between us.
We often, instead of like places that are driven by affiliate, they want to talk you into spending money. We try to talk our members out of spending money a lot of times, because a lot of people get excited about all the different possibilities, and they're like, I want what Chad has. And that we get that all the time. And for a lot of people, the stuff that we do, the higher end stuff, is great. But a lot of other people are like, do you know what a router is? And they're like, no. And they're like, okay, what do you do online? And they're like, okay, let's start with that conversation before you just start throwing money at problems.
Yeah. Speaking of that, speaking of your site, I'm going to cut over here. I want to show a couple of things on your website that I go to all the time that I think are amazing, and then we'll jump into the Q&A, if that's all right.
While you're doing that, Chad, I want to say thank you so much to David Childers for his super chat.
Thanks, David.
That was awesome.
So let me unmute you guys so you can talk if you want. So a couple of go-tos on here, in my opinion. I love this page, Top Pick Cellular Data Plans, because if you're looking for data plans, this thing, did I click on it? Yeah, it's just a little slow when I'm sharing. The thing that's really cool about this is down here you can actually filter by carrier, by device type. So if you're only looking for stuff that'll go into a router, you can click that. So that is an awesome resource. One thing I also really like, I thought I had a picture. Yeah, here it is, is their mobile internet video course. So for those of you who talk of cellular embedded routers and things like that, goes way over your head, their course will take you from the ground up and basically build on the knowledge as they go. And I think it's just awesome, because unfortunately, this is one of those topics that there's just no one answer. We get all the time, what's the best mobile internet? Well, I don't know. What are you going to do with it? Where are you going to be? There are so many variables in that. So getting a core understanding of the technologies, I think, is really key.
Absolutely. We actually used to do private advising. We no longer do. But we had conducted 150 sessions with people where we would spend an hour or two with them in a Zoom call, going through their needs. They do an assessment interview, and we would try to get them the right setup. And what we found with that is, number one, I was hoping I would be able to create just like 3 or 4 packages that would meet most people's needs, and be able to just recommend, here, buy this one or buy this one.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't happen, because out of those 150 different sessions that we did, each one came out with a completely different setup that was unique to the person, based upon what equipment they were starting with, what was their technical level, how often were they moving locations, are you going to urban or rural areas, are you going to RV parks, are you boondocking, are you working online, are you streaming video? There's all these sorts of variables, and you combine them all together, there's an infinite number of solutions out there.
Absolutely. Yeah, very, very true. So let's jump in. We have quite a few questions that we took from the posts that we've made. Some of them will be for all of us. Some of them will be just for you guys, because I don't know what the hell they're about. And so we'll just field them as they come, and then we'll get into chat from the actual live chat. So let's jump down here. And our first question is from Daniel Wessinger. Can I use my phone set as a hotspot and WAN it to my Max BR1 to provide another source, as you do with the Starlink? What say you?
So So first off, to explain that is when you put your phone in personal hotspot mode, it makes a Wi-Fi network, and you can connect your devices to it and use that upstream connection. But some mobile optimized routers support a feature called Wi-Fi as WAN, where they can connect also upstream to a Wi-Fi network, and you can indeed use your phone over that Wi-Fi as WAN connection to something like a PepWave Max BR1 and connect upstream. You do have, kind of the downside of it is a wireless hop that doesn't, for an iPhone in particular, doesn't support wired. If you have an Android, the Peplinks can actually usually tether via Android, but you'd have to have a Peplink with a USB port. So that's a challenge that not very many of them have.
The two we're giving away do.
What? No.
Doesn't the BR, doesn't the, here, hold on.
You're giving away the Pro, the Transit Pro, right?
Yeah, see, those are just for power. That's right.
Yeah, isn't that frustrating? They put us, when I first saw that come out, I was like, at last they put in the USB ports we've been begging for years, and it's for power only.
Right. They just released the Max BR2 Pro,
which we're using right now,
which is what we are broadcasting over, and I think we still have one of the only ones in North America right now. But it has a USB tethering port as well as two
5G modems in it.
But USB tethering is better. But there are some hotspot devices, like this is the AT&T Nighthawk that has Ethernet out, which then allows you to do an Ethernet directly in as one of the WAN sources. Right. But the BR1 and the Pro the Transit Pro that you're giving away only has one Ethernet WAN port. So you're gonna have to choose Starlink or
something else.
That's what I've got. For those of you who didn't see our 3.0 video, the way we're set up right now, and actually I've got it on the screen here, is we have our Max BR1 connected to our WAN port. And you can see right now we're connected to AT&T on one modem, Verizon on another modem, and our Wi-Fi as WAN is connected to our Starlink. So we're actually using all four of those right now in a bonded, in a bonded fashion, so with redundancy and smoothing. So we're actually in 1080p this time. Woohoo!
Nice.
Aren't you excited?
Yeah. Oh, just like Chad is using Wi-Fi as WAN to connect to the Starlink, instead of Starlink, you could also be connecting to your hotspot. You could be connecting to Campground's Wi-Fi network, providing it was good. You could be connecting to a hotspot's Wi-Fi network. So Wi-Fi as WAN can connect to any Wi-Fi source.
Yep.
Right. All right. From Sean Lynch, just started using the WineGuard. I don't know if it's Wine or WineGuard 360 with the gateway router added. Our sole provider is AT&T. Still on the fence. Thoughts on this product are greatly appreciated. That's you guys, because I have no idea.
It's
the
low end.
Yeah, so the WineGuard 360 is installed by a lot of RV manufacturers and sometimes the dealers. It's a dome that's on top of your RV that usually includes cellular, Wi-Fi, and TV antennas on the roof. And then you can purchase the gateway router, which kind of mounts underneath it on the ceiling of the RV to provide the cellular connection. So the thing on the roof only has the antennas, and then the gateway allows you to create a internet connection over cellular. Now, the gateway itself is a very low-end modem. I think it's only a Category 4 LTE. It doesn't cover all of the frequency bands of all of the carriers. It's not one we would recommend for most people that need to work remotely or doing high bandwidth things, but it's great for basic needs. If your needs are basic, it can be a great device. It's simple, it's easy.
Yeah. Basically, we wouldn't, if your RV came with the antennas already on the roof, it's a very relatively affordable way to go and get some connectivity to add as a simple upgrade without having to put new holes and new antennas or anything else. But if your RV didn't come with that WineGuard on the roof, we probably wouldn't recommend adding it. It's a good thing because so many manufacturers are just putting it there as a stock or as a from the factory option. But I wouldn't add it yourself.
Got it. Go on to the next one here.
Real quick, I want to remind everybody out there, because we do have a lot of questions coming in, and I want to thank everybody for their questions that are coming in. We're going to go through the questions we got earlier this week on social media first, and then we'll move to the chat questions.
We'll try to bust through these so we have some time.
Yeah.
Does MIRC do system installs? I'm going to say probably no. The big boss has a working restriction on me. I'm not allowed to climb ladders. So I'll defer to you guys. I know you guys don't do installs. I was very surprised with our Max BR1 Pro how well those blade antennas work without having to put a cellular antenna on the roof. I mean, I just tested in our current location, and I was getting like 220 down off
Yeah.
of 5G.
Yeah. So on the PepWave, they all have antennas right on here, and you can attach. They have little paddle antennas
They come with them.
that come with it, or you can put an external one. There's really not a lot that's involved with installation other than running the wires, which any RV tech who is certified for it can do.
Right.
It's no different than running your satellite dish or solar panels or anything like that.
Yeah,
so don't be intimidated. If you're not comfortable doing the wiring yourself, just go to a RV service center that you trust, or get a mobile tech that you trust.
If you want an external antenna, but as Chad said, if your RV is made out of fiberglass, and doesn't have like aluminum insulation and stuff in the walls, the antennas inside could work really, really well. But on the other hand, if your RV is made out of metal, like a bus or an Airstream or a van,
like we're in,
the antennas inside are going to perform very horribly compared to antennas on the roof, because the metal blocks the signal so strongly. So a lot of do I really need to put the effort to put something on the roof? A lot of it comes down to, well, if you're in an Airstream, yeah, you really do. And if you're in other types of things, yeah, you might need to. But if you're in a fiberglass fifth wheel, we know a lot of people who just kind of put their routers up in a high area where they've got kind of, minimal amount of fiberglass around them, and just kind of like in a, and the antennas can work really, really well inside. Yeah. Even an antenna that would normally be used outside can be set up inside in your cabinet. So you have a more powerful antenna than those 4 little blades, but it's still inside. So you don't have to put a hole in through your RV if that's a concern for you.
Right. So, maybe, Brian, at least get the device installed in with the blades, and then, add on the antenna later if you want, and then have a mobile tech do that. And you can just tell them, I want the antenna here, and I want the wires to go here, and let them figure it out.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Next up, Rich Turner. If I manage to win or purchase a router like this, would my old grandfathered Verizon Unlimited Hotspot data plan work in it if I move the SIM card? I'm kind of hesitant to make any changes with outstanding plan hardware. I also have Starlink I'm using when I can as well.
So yes.
Yes. Verizon does not restrict which devices that you use your SIM card in, as long as it's the same type of device. So if you have I'm guessing that they're referring to the prepaid unlimited jetpack plan that was available from late 2018 till mid 2019. It was $65 per month. Unlimited jetpack data. It was authorized for use on mobile hotspot devices and routers. So as long as you're sticking within that product class, which a router and a hotspot Verizon considers the same classification, you can move that SIM card over. It may be a different size depending upon the jetpack that you currently have it in. You may need to adapt it or get a new SIM card. It shouldn't be a problem. Yeah. But you can't use a Verizon smartphone plan in a router. That would be different. That's not authorized.
Yeah, I remember those. And I don't know if by grandfathered Verizon he's talking about the old, postpaid plan or the prepaid or what, but
yeah, there's also one that retired in 2011 that was a smartphone plan that is weird and different, and only about 6 of us on the planet have it left. So.
Next up, Pete Froze. As a Canadian, there are a few Canadian questions in here. As a Canadian about to become snowbird soon, 6 months in USA, other than Starlink, does a mobile carrier have a plan I can stop and start? It'll be used only in the U.S. Starlink will be my primary. A USA plan will be my secondary. I know some of the carriers require you to have an SSN and stuff.
Right. If you're going postpaid, if you don't have a social security number or the carrier's unable to use your Canadian credentials, which is rare, look at their prepaid plans. All Verizon, AT&T, and T-Mobile all offer prepaid hotspot plans in the 50 to 150 gigabyte range. Those are like low activation costs. They can be a little difficult because you do need to generally have a U.S. billing method, so a U.S. credit card, or some way that they can verify that address. If that doesn't work, then your only other option is really going with a third-party provider, which are resellers of data plans, which they work until they don't. I'm sure there'll be questions on those sorts of plans coming up later that we'll go into.
All right. Okay.
We do have a full guide for our Canadian friends.
And we happen to be in Canada right now
we
ourselves
are in Canada
for the first time.
Yeah, you guys are north of Toronto.
Yep.
Yes, we are.
And using Starlink in Canada to go back to the U.S.
That's cool. Are there any Starlink base stations in Canada, or is it?
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Canada is very well covered from Starlink. Other than the Great White North, the north of the 57 degrees latitude, Starlink hasn't done northern Canada or Alaska yet. That is probably coming end of this year, early next year is when those areas will be turned on.
Yeah, I've noticed. I haven't done a lot of looking into the orbits, but all the orbits are set up in such a way that they all kind of cross a northern parallel. And I don't know if they're ever going to have any going over the poles, just in case we decide to RV to the North Pole.
Yep. They actually are already starting to launch to fill in the polar orbits. They had a launch just a couple days ago, and they've got more. And so that's why by the end of this year, they should hopefully have the polar orbits filled in, so they'll have global coverage.
Nice. And then the what do you know anything? And I don't want to go too far off topic. I'm sorry. When do you know when they're
I'm
gonna,
thinking in my head.
when they're going to start the version 2s where they're going to have satellite to satellite laser links?
That's actually the version 1.5 of the satellites, and all the ones launched since last November-ish have the laser links, but they haven't finished a single shell yet to have enough of them to turn that on. So once they have that, again, probably by the end of this year, that's also what's required for the global coverage.
And that's what, and that's when it becomes self-aware and nukes everybody.
He just likes lasers.
I like lasers. Charles Faulkner, what's the most affordable option to boost cell phone signal for a vehicle, and what's the best option for the same purpose? And again, some people use the term cell signal when they really mean internet data signal, so I'm not sure which one he's talking about.
Yeah, it's hard to know. If you're talking about an actual cell phone, you're trying to get better calling to your phone and texting than the cellular booster, because cell phones don't have antenna ports. So the cheapest, they said most affordable, is to walk outside and stand on top of a rock.
Yeah,
that is the cheapest.
Or we also recommend a $5 plastic suction cup soap dish. You put it on your window of your RV and just sit your hotspot or your cell phone in that window in the soap dish, and you might get vastly better performance than you would having your phone sitting flat on a desk, usually below the window line or something. Mm-hmm. So soap dish, $5 can work wonders.
Right, but if
there's always this, just hold it.
Yeah, hold it up. But if you're in a weak signal area, a cellular booster, and those run for $500. And if you're talking about cellular signal to like a hotspot or a router, usually an antenna solution directly in is a better way to go.
Yeah, the cell boosters are single channel, so a lot of times they can degrade performance. David,
that's a very important thing, yeah.
Yeah, David Sharp, is Starlink the best option for non-working, lucky you, David, full-time RVers for basically streaming internet? Most data plans have caps and throttling. We still have our Verizon cell service as well. Will Starlink come down in price as more sats are launched in orbit? I doubt it. Or do you see continuing the trend of increasing plan fees to improve ROI for SpaceX?
So as far as it's the best option, it's hard to say. It depends upon where you're going.
Do you like trees? Do you like shade?
We've been traveling up and down the East Coast this summer in our van, using Starlink and cellular and testing in a lot of locations. Starlink does work great for video streaming, even if you're under trees, some trees, and getting dropouts, because like Netflix buffers very well, so you don't feel the dropouts as much.
Yeah.
But if we have been in some places where Starlink just could not get a signal because we're under so many trees.
And if you're trying to do a video chat, even a little 1-second dropout can really frustrate you. And if you have a 6-second dropout or a 12-second dropout, that can totally ruin or disconnect your video call. So depending on what you're trying to do, Starlink may or may not be acceptable. And depending on, like out in the West, some people are loving it, clear, wide open skies. On the East, just a few trees can really ruin your Starlink day. It requires a very big, broad view of the sky. It's not like the old school satellites where you could aim between the trees. Starlink needs wide open sky, or you'll get dropouts. So Netflix, great, but surfing could be frustrating, and video chat, impossible.
Yeah.
And will it be coming down in price? I seriously doubt it.
Seriously doubt it. Seriously doubt it. Is anything coming down in price these days? I don't think so.
The PepWave BR1 Pro.
That's true. That is true.
$999 to $999 last week.
Yeah, so that's a big price
And
drop.
5G hotspots have been coming down in price.
Yeah,
so that's good.
Well, there you go.
See?
There you go.
That's why we have you on.
Yeah, I will also say that the streaming apps are not all created equally. Some are really good, like Netflix has a lot of years under its belt in perfecting the streaming, Whereas like
HBO Go is bad.
HBO Go seems to be pretty bad. Discovery Plus seems to not be great.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So
if we're in a marginal signal area, we watch Netflix just because
Netflix is where we go.
Netflix is the safer bet because it can deal with more glitches.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what that name is, but I have a WindGuard gateway antenna on the roof of my RV. Will this come into play with the Max Transit Pro router? Are there connections coming off of that to hook up as an antenna?
So there are 2 cellular antennas inside of the WindGuard 360, but they end in a different type of antenna port. So what's coming in on the Pros, these are SMA connectors.
Mhm.
What's coming in off the WindGuard, I believe, is called an MCX. There are adapters out there for them, but the other challenge is usually the wires coming in at the roof, and they only come this far. So you have to then figure out what you're going to do from the roof to where you're keeping your router. So some people have done it. It can be a kind of a kludgy installation, but really you're going to be better off, especially with the Transit Pro, which has 2 cellular embedded routers that each need 2 antennas. So you need a total of 4. You're probably better off getting a dedicated antenna just for that router.
Right.
Yeah. I would think the same thing. Yeah. Two just doesn't quite cut it. Let's see. Tried to get a cellular contract to another contract in the States, and they do not allow Canadians to have contracts. So we already kind of covered that. Any workaround for that?
So we have a full guide to that.
The simple workaround is just marry an American, which, I mean, there's a lot of Americans who are going to be looking to move to Canada someday. So, you can find a win-win situation.
Yeah. So go prepaid on the prepaid plans, on that, go third-party reseller, or, sometimes if you have American friends who have data plans, they might be able to add a line on for you on their existing.
That happens a lot, actually.
There you go.
You don't actually have to marry them.
That's true.
Just get engaged, get their address. Downsizing makes sense. Unfortunately, our PepWave we bought through Mobile Must Have was blacklisted by AT&T after the third-party service was lost. Yeah, there was the AT&T has cut a lot lately, so I wanted to pull that one in. But is there anything that can be done if you used a third-party reseller and they did something weird, then your IMEI or your device or whatever gets blacklisted? Is there anything can be done about that?
So it's because these third-party resellers, they're kind of like selling plans at a flea market that fell off the back of the truck. And when a carrier like AT&T finds out that they're doing something kind of nefarious, they shouldn't be going after the end customers, but they have in some cases blacklisted routers.
They did recently this spring with a few of the resellers out there, and unfortunately, there's really nothing you can do.
Yeah, some people have gotten lucky by making a really almost a federal case out of it, going to AT&T, writing to the president, open an FCC filing and stuff like that. But it's a lot of effort, and it may or may not work.
Might be easier just to buy a new router.
Right.
Yes.
So if you have like a dual modem router, like the one that you're giving away this evening, just don't use that modem for AT&T. Use the other modem for AT&T, and then use that other modem for Verizon or T-Mobile.
Yeah, the blacklist applies to the modem, not to the entire router. So it's
cool. And I know that some of the PepWave routers you can buy. I forget what it's called, but it's like another little extension that gives you another modem.
Yeah, the Max adapter, which we have actually over here.
That might be an option.
That requires a USB port. So most of the PepWave routers that most of our people don't have the USB port to use that. So that is a challenge.
Just for charging.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure does the WeBoost work like they say it will. I don't know who's saying what, Greg.
Nothing will work like the marketing says it will. Boosters have a lot of downsides, especially for cellular data. And it's a really, really in-depth content. We have done hour-long videos on the topic, but we do have a guide at mobileinternetinfo.com/boosters that goes into the downsides of boosters.
So the basic thing, what they say is you'll get more bars on your phone, and that is almost certainly true. If you turn on a booster, you will see it go from 2 bars to 5 bars. But the thing they don't tell you, and the thing that a lot of people don't realize, is you'll have more bars, but it's like you're yelling into a crowded room or something. Your actual performance sometimes goes way, way down. The booster actually, in a lot of cases, will slow your internet speeds way down. So you'll have more bars, but slower speed. So never just turn on a booster and leave it on. Always do a speed test and see, is this actually helping me? It will only help you in kind of only the most extreme fringe areas. A lot of other places, it will be hurting you.
Yeah, we haven't put our WeBoost up in over 2 years. If I need a better signal, I just get an antenna up in the air, which is really the whole purpose of that WeBoost anyways, to get a signal from way up here and retransmit it down in here. And yeah, that single channel will kill you for sure. Okie dokie. Greetings. I'm wondering how you are integrating your one control system in your new PepWave router. I think that one's for us. David, we're not. Not because we don't want to, but because our particular one control system was pre-integration. Ours doesn't even have Bluetooth. It's just got the old Wi-Fi, and honestly, it's a nightmare to even connect to with my phone. So we're not using that. But if and when in the future we get a new RV that has a newer system, we'll probably do a video on that and look into how to do that.
Yeah, and I believe actually Eric McCauley from Mobile Must-Have is actually going to be doing some guides for our members, and I think we're going to cover it in one of our new future member videos about how he integrated some of his RV control systems via PepLink and stuff. So that's something that is kind of advanced and geeky, but it's stuff that other people have played with.
Yeah, and there's a guy that has been on the Grand Design forums, Bob Pericante, I think is how you say his name. He started a page on Facebook that's all about smart home internet stuff in an RV. So that's a really good resource. We'll put a link to that down below. Vince Walker, PepLink just significantly, here's this, where we just talked about this, just significantly lowered the price on the PepWave Max BR1 Pro 5G. Is this a good time to buy one, or should we wait until they come out with the X65 chipset? The X65 threw me off. Do you guys know about that?
Yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So the all cellular embedded router, so this is the Max BR1 Pro 5G that is being talked about here. This was priced at $14.99 when it came out in October. Just last week, PepLink dropped it to $9.99, which is an incredible price. This is a single modem router. But the modem that is in here is based on the Qualcomm X55, which is a perfectly fine modem, except for it has two missing things that will make it not future-proof going into the future. Yeah, so just real briefly. Okay, this is a really deep content.
Yeah, real briefly. So the two things is just like in the 4G world, there's a feature called carrier aggregation that will apply to 5G that will let the X65 combine two different types of 5G frequencies to get 5G over a longer range, fast 5G over a longer range. The X65 does that, the X55 does not. And then the other feature is AT&T later this year is rolling out kind of the heart of their 5G network is on some spectrum that has kind of been dubbed by analysts the Andromeda spectrum. The X55 is not compatible, the X65 is. So the basic advice is if AT&T is important to you, if AT&T 5G is important to you, the X65 is probably worth waiting for. If AT&T is your primary carrier and all that, early next year, we'll start to see routers with the X65, we suspect. On Verizon and T-Mobile, the X55 will do great, is great right now. It can take advantage of what they're doing with 5G. It will miss out on some of the network expansions going forward. But if you don't feel like waiting, don't feel like you're missing out on too much.
So at the $9.99 price point, it makes it much less of, it's still a lot of money, but it's a lot less money than $14.99.
Yeah, so, for sure.
So going into it, $9.99, and then just figure that maybe in a year or two, you're going to want to upgrade to something with a more advanced modem. Yeah. It makes it a lot more palatable if that is the price range in which you are shopping at.
And in particular, if you want to add AT&T into the mix, AT&T is the first because they know they're going to have this network expansion. They've brought out the Nighthawk M6, their new 5G hotspot. This has the X65. It's the first hotspot with the X65. And it has Ethernet out. So you use this with your T-Mobile and or Verizon SIMs, and use this to the Ethernet WAN in to bring your AT&T 5G connection in, and this will be kind of future-proof into the next year or two, and you still get the best of both. So it's a good way to go. It's just you got to think through the trade-offs, and you got to wait for the modems to actually reach it into the market. And probably
it depends on your level of patience, Vince.
Exactly. And what your needs are now.
Right.
So.
Exactly. Let's see. Let's do one more from the pre-canned questions, and we'll jump to some from chat. Many of us from Canada visit the U.S. for an extended period of time and need internet to move around. What would you recommend, excluding Starlink?
We've answered this twice. I think we've already answered this one twice.
Yeah, I think we did. So let's just go. Let's just pick another one here. Pam Coster, what do you use for internet on travel days? I mean, for us, we've got the antenna mounted on the roof, and our modems are all powered via inverter. So our RV, along with our access point in the front of the RV, we just use that. How about you guys?
Yeah, I mean, right now we're traveling in a van, so and everything is set up all the time.
Yeah, we keep one of our roof antennas is an omnidirectional, so it's always on. And that if I need to do anything while we're driving, then I just connect my laptop to that. It's already connected, and I just use it. So it's our the same setup that we use when we're stationary is what we set.
Yep.
Yeah, same here. All right, let's get a few questions. We've got 7:40.
Chris and I were busy. We made a list.
Yeah, that's a big list. I don't think we're going to get to all of it.
Well, I know.
Yeah, it already took us 40 minutes to get through the pre-ones.
I'm over here typing away.
We didn't even get to all those. It always goes quicker.
So as you can see, this is a very, very in-depth topic. There's endless questions. If your question isn't answered, we do still have a free Facebook group, Internet for RVers and Cruisers. Our team can help direct you to our content there. But if these questions are really important to you, that's what we do over at the MIA. Is our team spends all day long answering questions in the forums, and we do webinars like this monthly with our members, where we can spend more time with our members answering these sorts of questions.
Yeah, that's one thing. Awesome. That's one thing I wanted to bring up too. Is at your site, the MIA, that's the Mobile Internet Aficionados. I joined that the December before we even went to the RV show, before we even knew what we were going to buy, when we were building and planning. And it was because of that membership and you guys that I got the email notification that, hey, AT&T is doing away with their True Unlimited plan. If you want one, get it now. So I did, and I still have it. Now, do I wish I could go back and tell past Chad, hey, get 3 of those? I wish I could, because they're only like $20 a month or something like that. So yeah, the Mobile Internet Aficionados is a great membership, gets you on their newsletter list too. So it's absolutely worth it.
And we're working with Mobile Must Have. If you're thinking of PepLink gear, we are working with Mobile Must Have, and we're building out a brand new PepLink resource center, as well as a Starlink resource center, going really in depth on configuration on a lot of the things that you're going to need, to optimize your setup once you purchase it. And our members get bigger discounts.
And also I talked to PepLink, who is in Hong Kong, just the other night, and I know you guys and Mobile Must Have been also working with them to tell them what RVers need, and that is how the Max Transit Pro came about, right? The Cat 7, Cat 12 duo.
They consulted with us on that. So we, just to be clear, we don't work for them. We don't work with them. We just casually have conversations with them, and we tell them what our industry is. We have no affiliation with them, although we did have
interface.
Lunch. We did have lunch with the head of the North America yesterday or Friday.
Oh, well, that's just great. So you're just doing all this for free lunch.
Free lunch. We got a free lunch out of it. We got a free lunch out of it.
And they sent us the beta of the Max BR2 Pro. So when he came and saw it in our van, he hadn't seen it in person yet either. So it was like, oh, I could touch it. It's the first one in the United States, or first one in North America. So yeah, we get some early access to stuff.
That's one thing we love about PepLink, though, is they are listening to the needs of the RVers. And in the last year, we have given them a whole bunch of tough love about what we all need. And you know what? 90% of what we've asked for, they have delivered.
Or they're saying they're working on. Yeah. They're listening and fixing things, and so I like that. Yeah.
Okay, let's look at a couple of questions from the chat here.
If someone can upgrade Andy Hall to mod, he's been posting links and none of them have come through.
Oh, shoot. Let me try that real quick here.
Oh, here, I got him.
Well, there you go.
Done.
Tara's got it taken care of. I was going to go the long way and go through YouTube Studio.
Like, I'm not saying anything.
Sorry about that, Andy.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Last minute change there. All right, let me find one here. Joseph Chandler, watching through our Max BR1 MK2. Great advice as we begin to do remote work, looking to upgrade to hot rollover capability and using a parallel cellular data. So I think he's talking about Speed Fusion there, which we're using right now.
Right. So what he has right now is the Max BR1 Make 2, which is the predecessor to this one. It's a single modem, usually had a Cat 6 modem in it, so lower end modem by today's standards. So if you're wanting 2 cellular, you're going to want to look at either the Max Transit Duo, the Max Transit Pro
Transit
now,
Pro, right?
which has 2 LTE modems in it, or going all the way up to another solution that allows you to bring in multiple cellular options. And there's multiple ways around that. You don't have to go dual cellular embedded modems. You can also do one like getting a hotspot with Ethernet out and using that as a WAN input into a device. So there's multiple ways to go around it.
Or Starlink with Wi-Fi as WAN or something.
And for anybody who's interested in the concept of using multiple connections at once, we've got a really kind of in-depth guide at mobileinternetinfo.com/bonding that kind of explains the concept, because it is a lot to wrap your head around and can go deeper into what are the trade-offs of it.
Yeah, for sure. That one thing I love though, and I'll actually show you guys real quick.
While you're looking for that, I want to say that everybody who's watching and who's in the chat, Andy Hall is a part of Chris and Cherie's team, and he is now adding some links in there that are some answers and more information on some of the things that they've been talking about. And I saw he just posted a link for all of our Canada viewers out there, and so he's getting some good information out. So be sure to check those links out. Those links are good links to click on. They're not spam. So.
He was actually blocked prior because he wasn't made a moderator. So
he's catching up now.
There are 2 other Andys out there in the world that are moderators on our channel now. That'll have to go.
We have 2 Andys on our team, and Mobile Must Have has an Andy on there.
There's just too many Andys out there.
It's not a problem. I love my Andys. They're amazing human beings.
Okay, we need more Andys. The world needs more Andys.
Make it all possible for us to do this stuff.
Just want to say hi to Chris and Martha. Just popped in from Venturesome Couple.
Hello. I just want to show real quick how easy it is to set up Speed Fusion. Once you have a system like this with more than one active connection, you go to the Speed Fusion Connect, choose cloud location, and then you can pick a location here. So let's say Toronto. That's it. I'm done. That's how easy it is to set up Speed Fusion. Now you can go in here and you can tweak settings. You can add different profiles under there with like smoothing, not smoothing, things like that. I'm gonna click off of that because I don't want to change anything while we're live, because
always a bad idea.
Always a bad idea. But I used Fusion Hub, I think it is, and had a Amazon Web Services, and it was just a pain to set up. Not for me, but for anybody else, it'd be really, really a lot of work. Few clicks and it's set up. It's awesome. 747. I got time for a couple more here. When you're using your cell phone, this is from MW. When you're using your cell phone networks, how do you determine if the issues you're having are your equipment or if it's the backhaul being used by the network? That's a good question, because sometimes you can have a great signal but crappy.
Right. So first of all, there are a lot of things that impact cellular data performance, and I'm sure there'll be a link in the chat room to our guide on the topic. But one of the telltale signs of network congestion, so that's when there's a lot of people using the same cellular tower and is bringing it down. And when a lot of people are using a tower and using the internet connection on it, a lot of them are streaming video, like watching YouTube videos, like this video. So if a lot of people are using download capacity, the download is what's going to be impacted first. So one of the telltale signs is do a speed test. If your upload speeds are much faster than your download speeds, that right there is a telltale sign that you are in a congested market for download.
Yeah, and in which case, like all the stuff that you try to do, like a bigger antenna or a booster, all that stuff, it's not going to help, because the problem is very most likely upstream of you. So actually adding a booster is really just kind of adding more noise to the whole mess for everybody. It's not going to speed you up at all. Switching to a different carrier, having a backup carrier, that's when the congestion hits. That's when you switch to, I'm going to switch from Verizon to T-Mobile now, and much better.
Yeah, that's one thing that you guys have always stressed, and that I always try to re-stress to everybody, is having a good connection when you're traveling, meaning you're not just full-time RV in a couple spots seasonally, but especially if you're hitting a couple spots every couple weeks. Diversity is key, which is why we've got AT&T, Verizon, T-Mobile, and yeah, it's expensive. On average, these plans are about $120 a piece a month. So yeah, we're paying a lot for.
It's not complicated to me. I just say, what network should I be on? I'm very lucky. I think that we should maybe get started with the giveaway.
Yeah, I do too. But
And
we
then
got
if
Nancy.
we have time, we can, answer
I already
that
put
one.
Nancy on there.
Yeah, we'll answer Nancy.
If I have no cellular service where we camp, is Starlink my only option? Probably.
So I would first verify that there is no cellular service there, because maybe you don't have, if you have an AT&T phone, maybe there's no AT&T there. So check the carrier's coverage maps, check campground reviews, check other resources to see if you should be expecting cellular service there. Then you might need to make sure you have a way to get that service. Maybe you need an antenna, maybe you need a booster. If not, if you don't have trees, then Starlink might be your answer.
Yeah, and there are some other older satellite options, and there will be other satellite options in the future, but Starlink is the simplest right at the moment if you are someplace with absolutely no cellular. But you would be amazed at how much cellular you could find, even in some really crazy remote places, if you know how to find it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. Let me switch over here. I want to make our giveaway link active.
Can they see everything that's going on?
No,
right now?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No.
Because he's going all over the place. That makes somebody dizzy.
I'll just do it. We're done here. So let's get to the giveaway.
Oh, yeah. This is the good
So,
stuff, you guys.
I
This
wanna
is what
say-
you've been waiting for.
I want to say thank you to Peplink. They are actually the ones providing these routers directly. They also, like we mentioned, work with Mobile Must Have. So they're channeling this and working with Mobile Must Have in partnership for these giveaways. We wanted to do that because Mobile Must Have only sells their data plans to current customers who bought their routers. So that way you will be able to get a data plan for this router if you win it. And let's just get it up on the screen here. If you go to changinglanesrv.com/Max Transit Pro giveaway with dashes in there,
There is a link in the description.
there's a link in there'll be a link in the description. Also, if you just go to our website, and about 5 minutes after this live stream is over, I will put a link in our menu. It'll just say giveaway. Click that. It'll go there. A couple of ways to enter. One is just, to enter it all, you got to put in your email address and your name and email address. So, because we got to be able to contact you if you win. And once you select that and do that, there will be an option for sharing. So you can share up to 3 times and get up to 3 more entries. So when you share the link and then somebody enters, then you get credit for that entry. So you can get up to 4 entries to win one of these 2 modems. So we're going to draw 2 winners. And the drawing will close next Saturday night at midnight. 11:59 p.m. Because a lot of times, midnight.
And
12.
we'll reach out to the winners directly.
Sometime on Sunday. We might be traveling.
We don't know. But so that's how you enter the giveaway. And I want to remind everybody that Eric from Mobile Must Have has been very active in this chat. And I want to say thank you to Eric because he's been so helpful answering questions. And Andy, once we got him on there, he's been adding so many awesome links to some direct information right from the rvmobileinternet.com website. And we'll put some of those links in the description as well so that you guys can find them, since it's our fault that he wasn't in the chat. And so everybody, and I've seen people helping each other throughout this chat too. It's been really cool to watch. So I want to thank everybody who's helped everybody out and all of our moderators.
Yeah. And also real quick on the giveaway, went round and round to try to figure out availability. It's available to U.S. and Canadian customers. They'll work out how to get it to the Canadian customers. Of course, the data plans are another issue, but once you do it, they might be able to work something out. If you have a U.S. address, it's super easy. So if you're using one of the mail forwarding services like we use, but it's a U.S. address, then it's easy peasy. So be sure to click on the giveaway rules. And anything else on our list here?
What's the demo?
I was going to demo, but I just described it. So.
Oh, okay. So again, the link will be in the description about 5 minutes or so, you said, after we get off of this live stream.
Yeah, let me go.
And we're not going to put the link or anything on social media, on our Facebook or Instagram. So all of you who sat through and watched this, thank you very much.
You got dibs, but you can share it with your friends.
You got dibs.
Let me go add it to I'm in WordPress here.
Do you want to answer? We got a few more minutes. Let's answer a few more questions.
I just want to go make this live real quick.
Why
Actually,
don't
I've got
we
another
wait?
sheet.
Let's
Okay,
wait.
we'll wait. Let's get to a few more. She has to keep me in line.
So there's some, whichever.
The Mama from Elkhart. What do y'all think about the portability? Oh, the probability. Yeah, those words are hard. What do y'all think about the probability of Starlink being impacted by Dish Network's 5G 12 gigahertz plan? I know there's a little thing going on there.
And Gene asked about it too, so
Gene
this is
too,
good.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, both of these companies, the most important thing is this 12 gigahertz stuff does not matter for several years. This is the FCC is trying to decide how this new section of spectrum will be used, whether it's for satellite or for 5G. And Dish and Starlink and other companies are all weighing in, and they're trying to get public excitement and try to have people contact Congress, contact the FCC to weigh in now, but it will not have any impact for years, and it'll probably not end up being much real world impact. But if you want to read the details about this, we did a story that kind of dove into both sides of it all just a month or so ago, and Andy can throw the link into the chat, but does not
Now I
apply
can.
right now.
Regardless of what the FCC decides, it will not impact things for several years to come.
Yes.
So
Cool. Also, I just got a text from Eric. He said Mobile Must Have is happy to provide 30 days of free data to the 2 winners if you want to announce that. I do want to announce that, and I just did.
Woohoo! It just keeps getting better and better. That's awesome.
on any plan you guys pick. We're using their 800 gigabyte T-Mobile plan. And T-Mobile for us has been, when we can get 5G, holy cow, it's smoking fast.
No, I just saw.
If you want to, sure.
yeah, and if
Okay.
you want to, Chad, we'd be happy to toss in a free MIA membership to the winners of those peplings. So they have
Oh, there you go.
You
Triple,
guys,
triple,
Prizes for everybody.
thank you so much. That's
Triple.
awesome.
triple win.
That is great. We really
who's there?
appreciate it.
Mark Palin, have you mastered the onion volcano yet?
Mark, this is such an old video that's funny.
Mark goes
referenced.
way back. Yeah, no, I've never even tried an onion volcano.
That was just
We
for
did
show.
we did a Blackstone video where I tried to do the hibachi onion volcano, and,
Yeah.
it just created a big fire.
And that was the first and only time he's ever tried it. Yeah.
But I do still like fire. All right, so let's see what else we have here.
Oh, hilarious.
Just Jay, what have you done for your Starlink cord? We like moving our dish around and pull out a window screen to run the Starlink cable. It's not ideal. A quick disconnect would be best. Oh gosh, just recently I saw somebody post on the Grand Design forums, and I'll see if I can find it and put it in the links below. But I think inside the cable, it's just 4 pairs of twisted pair, right? So you can actually use Ethernet cable, and you can create your own. He made an inside port that you could just plug into the outside of the RV, his Starlink. We just run it in through our garage because we have a garage, and that door doesn't close super tight to kink the cable. What about you? What do you guys do with your Starlink cable?
In the van, also, our back door doesn't close tight enough to kink the cable. So on the van, we go out through the rubber seal of the door, and I've got a spot that it just closes on that. And again, it is a fairly standard Ethernet cable. There's just a few slight tweaks that make it different under the hood. So people who are comfortable working with Ethernet cables and crimping new ends and doing inside-outside connectors can do. There's tutorials online of how to do your own ends. But if you're not, you can damage the cables, and they're expensive. So make sure you know what you're doing, or find somebody who knows what you're doing.
And more importantly than being expensive, they can sometimes be weeks delayed for Starlink to ship you a new one.
Yes, that is the most important thing.
Because Starlink support is questionable.
Oh yeah, their tech support takes a long time to fix things sometimes. So yeah, that's definitely something to keep in mind.
That's good to know for all the people traveling around and stuff.
Yeah.
Real quick, he was a super chat, so we want to make sure we get David's question. But
David,
you kind of answered that already.
Oh yeah, how are you getting your Starlink into the Mo? Yeah, just right through the garage. But that pass through would be pretty cool. Have you guys had any trouble? The first few times I set up our Starlink were fine, and then subsequent times connecting the connector into the dish. Have you used the paper? So I found online there's a whole bunch of videos out there that you take a piece of paper. I actually took a yellow sticky Post-it note and folded it a couple times and stuck it in there with it behind the connector.
Yeah. So it's kind of, I consider design flaw. The connector end on the Starlink cable is super delicate, and the way it plugs in is super delicate. It's not industrial strength, outdoor rated. It was made to try and bring their costs down as much as they could, I think. And people have had a lot of trouble, and that's why people who messed up that cable end, and it bends very easy. So put a cap on it, protect it at all costs. Because if you damage your cable, we had it happen. Fortunately, we had a spare cable, but it took them 6 weeks to get us a replacement under warranty. Ours actually died for a factory defect, and so yeah, so glad I ordered 2 cables, because 6 weeks to get a replacement from them. So
Yeah.
yes, be very careful with your Starlink cable ends, and they do get delicate and temperamental.
Yeah. Eric seconded that and said it's very smart to carry a secondary cable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
We have a spare cable just because they're so delicate.
Yeah, I was up there and I was I didn't want to jam it because I knew it was just like almost like a little mini USB or something in there. I didn't want to jam it up. One more. Let's see here. Another One Connect question by Robert.
But let's ask them this because we want to know, because we want to share their information. Discord is a...
Yeah. Does the MIRC and/or MMH have a Discord channel for discussions with the community,
or like an insider Patreon kind of thing, I guess,
well,
or something?
you guys have your own. You guys have your own forum,
right?
So our MIA membership includes access to our forums, which are hosted on our site. It's traditional forum software,
as well as a private Facebook group.
We have a private Facebook group as well for those that prefer it, and we do also host regular Q&A webinars like these with our members throughout the month. We do one also with Mobile Must Have. I'm not even sure I've ever used Discord. I don't even know what
I've used Discord before. And we've never actually had a request to host a Discord channel. It's just never come up. Our forums are very active and have a great place for deep conversations.
Yeah, so our team has enough places to keep on top of.
You guys all on a Discord.
Up in Facebook and the forums and comments to everything. So we have enough places to keep on top of.
Do you guys have anything that you'd like to add, or anything coming up exciting that they should know about, or anything you want to talk about?
So we do have our video course is currently on sale. It was scheduled to go off sale this evening, but we've extended it through the end of this week, through August 5th. So if anyone's considering taking that video course that Chad talked about, that includes our package. It's $179. It includes 1 year of MI membership and the video course. And our video course does include a very small scale. We've limited to just 5 people at a time, student workshops with our staff.
That's
to really
awesome.
go in depth with questions. Yeah. It's the closest we get to private advising these days.
Very cool. That's awesome.
That's awesome. Nice small audience. Well, it has been an hour already.
That flew by real fast.
Very fast.
Yeah.
Luckily, our connection held up.
Well, that would be something, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
That would be kind of embarrassing if the four of us, if our connections went down.
I was nervous all day because we've never done something from Canada before. And I was like, is there going to be something strange that comes in with like random Canada internet dropout I've just never experienced? So I'm so happy it worked.
Well, all the
for letting us be your guinea pigs there.
All the Starlink satellites have to stop and show their passports when they cross the border, so it slows
I know.
things down.
What if they get detained because they're carrying a chili onions or something?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so I want to remind everybody who was watching or who watched this after the live stream that we will have all these links in the description below, and how to contact.
To put them in there.
Well, yeah, not right away. Give us some time, and we'll get everything that we talked about in the description and that giveaway link. And don't forget, you have until midnight on Saturday.
Yeah, it's in the giveaway. It'll actually show you and give you a countdown and all that good stuff. So,
and thank you to everybody who helped moderate.
Yes, thank you to all our moderators. Thank you, Chris and Cherie, for coming on with us again.
Yes, and again, Eric, thank you from Mobile Must Have.
Yeah, and Eric from Mobile Must Have, and Chris, and all the Andes. any Andes, you're welcome to our.
Just ask Andy.
Thanks a bunch, guys.
Thanks for watching. And thanks, Chris and Cherie.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.